in the light of truth that has come to me, and from this childlike joy, this holy child that I found, and I think the answer really is to find the child. You can't do this without the child. But through what I found, and it came to me by reading Bill's books, there was no doubt about it. I don't think anybody has written about the child the way he has. That book, The Child Within Us Lives, 400 pages of guidance and instruction that is absolutely the most marvelous thing written, I believe, in these days, for now, for us. Really important, really valuable. But what I was going to say is this thinking thing. When you find the child, the thinking becomes, I was thinking about this, the thinking becomes rich, profound, curious, inventive. There's a freshness to it. There's an aliveness to it. We get to think, and thinking is a beautiful part of what God is. It is part of what awareness is. Minds think. The divine mind of God thinks. It thinks itself into being. I'm sort of putting that in my words, but in a way, yes, the presence of God, it's thinking, its ideas, its expression, its multitude of manifestations of its qualities and attributes expressing here in the world as everything we see, besides the fact of everything we don't see, and what is tangible and what isn't tangible, it's all here. And thinking is a part of the presence of God. We don't get rid of our thinking. I understand wanting to not be afraid, wanting to think things, wanting to get rid of your thinking if it is confusing and painful and cluttering you from seeing the divine gifts and the divine beauty of this living presence of awareness that you are. It's okay to think, or many beautiful authors and poets, how do they express in that way that is so rich? The transcendentalists, how do they bring about the beautiful words that they share? It is a process of thinking. Oh, it's an expansive mind. It's an expansive, visionary seeing and understanding of, in a way, we're out of the way, but in a way, we're right here being and being present. I mean, we're absolutely present, and we do think. Somehow, with the child, somehow the fearful thoughts, the confusing ideas, the worrisome sense, it falls away. The child allows us this beautiful peace, a deep, abiding peace, a tranquility that is able to think, able to write, able to paint, able to bring poetry, able to be in the garden and planting flowers in the springtime and feeling the air and feeling the beauty of the earth and hearing the birds sing and knowing while you're doing this, while you're here, active, energized, and feeling this presence of the divine, you don't lose anything. You're quite capable of knowing how to plant that garden, of knowing how to do all the things that we do. It's a flowing energy of divine intelligence, and it doesn't stop thinking. It's creative. It's mysteriously deep, or expansively in tune, and we can come up with all kinds of wonderful ideas. Some people probably have created really beautiful inventions because of this ability to think. Um, so we don't get rid of that. That's not the where we put our effort into trying to get rid of something. The effort isn't about getting rid of. If there's any effort, which really there isn't, but the search, as you're searching, keep in mind this beautiful soul of yourself, this original identity you are. That's where you begin to find a unbound, expansive, spacious, joyful ability to live in the presence right here, right now, fearlessly, completely open-hearted, feeling the love, feeling the divine presence of God right where we are, awake to the beauty, the air, the breeze, the trees, the dust in the house, awake to all of it. And it doesn't take an effort to be here and to feel all this, because the aliveness of the child we are is genuine and real, and it's who we are. And so it's a joy to be living. It's a joy to be alive. It's a joy to be in this world. It's a joy to watch it all, see where it goes, see what's happening out there in the world. I watch the world, and there's a part of me that sometimes wants to get involved and say, but, and I don't, because it's all going to be okay. I know it is. I know that everybody's going to be all right, one way or another, this lifetime or another. Somehow this divine energy of life itself, the intelligence of life itself, it goes on, it goes on. Life doesn't die, awareness doesn't die, the presence doesn't die. The presence is who we are. The child doesn't die. The holy child, that holy child we are, doesn't die. And so there's a freedom here in this world, and we're not stuck with kind of the old conditioned thinking that is limited, the limits. We're not stuck in the limited viewpoint of who we are and what is and what the world is all about. We have been conditioned to think that we are little limited bodies that have life inside our body, that have a mind that's creating awareness, or how do they even say that? It's like it goes over my head at this point, but like you have to make awareness appear, or that you're the master of awareness. That's not true. Awareness is what we are. We're always aware, constantly aware, forever aware. We know we know we're here, and we know this living presence. And once you start to realize that this living presence is the divine presence of God, this awareness is immutable, it is infinite, it is timeless, it is our identity. And the freedom that happens when we discover this is profound. And that's why all these teachers in all the different ways, and all the poets and all the artists have been pointing to this. It's the truth. It is the truth. How did Jesus say, or how does the Bible say it? The light, the truth, and the way. I mean, that's really what is happening here. We are living that light, that truth, and the way. And when you discover your true identity, your original nature, your divine heritage, the soul of yourself, this holy child, you find a peace that is understanding. It understands why the world is like it is. It understands why people are like they are, why the divisiveness and the anger and the fear, and why there are governments that want to control people, and why they want, because they don't know who they are. They have no idea of the gift of this divine essence that we are. But when you and I find it, it's an action that will change the situation out there. You just do it within your heart. You just do it here within yourself. You change and your world will change. You'll see. You'll see it. That's the way we do anything for each other, is by way of changing who we are. And that change is really the discovery of this holy child. It isn't like getting rid of ourselves, or not living in the world, or denying the world, or denying our selfhood. It's an embracing. It's a love that is present in our heart, here, immediate, and yet it has a feeling of infinite, expansive fearlessness to it, where we know who we are, so we're not afraid of what happens to the things, what happens to the bodies, what happens to who we think we are, because that's not who we are, and we find it out. And yet, we are. We're here. We have what we have now. We're being this. It is a beautiful gift of balance. The transcendent balance, the third point, the Holy Trinity, the child. Love. It really is all about love. God is love. Life is love. It continues to grow and bloom, and flowers and sunshine and rain. And it is a perfect world. Everything is perfect the way it is. When we find the child, we understand what that really means, and why it allows us to let things be what they are, and know that by you and I lifting ourselves to see heaven on earth right here, to see the presence of God right here, to live this divine presence here, that's how we change our world. It's an inside thing. We do it within. And then, yes, we find ways to express it. Maybe something like me being here talking to you on YouTube and that sort of thing. But the true energy of change is within. I couldn't be here doing this with you if that fearless child hadn't shown up for me and blossomed and become me and holds my hand and takes me through all the things I need to do and walks with me, talks with me. Why do I keep hearing the word lullabies, lullabies? Something about falling asleep at night and the beautiful lullaby, the grace of God, the divine beauty that embraces us, holds us, is with us always. We're not alone, not ever. The whole world is within this presence of this child heart that we are, and we feel it. Oh, we never feel alone when we're here with a child. It's abundance, and it's beauty, and it's creative, and it finds us doing, I find myself doing like, well, how did I get here? Why am I doing that? This is really amazing. Here we are. It actually does hold our hand and show us what to do and how to get through. And there's an ebb and flow to life. There just is this gentle sea change, this gentle movement of life. There's times when we ebb and times when we flow, times when we go in, times when we come out. Let those things be. Let your energies of this cosmic sea of divine mind, let it move you and trust it. You'll find yourself doing when you're ready to do, and you'll find yourself quiet when you're quiet. And so let yourself be gentle with yourself. And if it feels peaceful, joyful, happy, like the child, well, think of when you were a little boy or a little girl and you were coloring all by yourself. That's what I'm talking about. There's like a quiet stillness that you don't have to be out doing a lot of stuff, but the joy is there. The joy of getting out all those crayons and looking at all the colors and coloring in your coloring book. Lullabies, I don't know, there's something about love and the child and lullabies and crayons and quiet, and how beautiful that little child is that can just sit there for hours just playing on the floor and listening to, I remember listening to old records way back in my day, a little record player, the old records, and oh my gosh, the beauty of the child. And that child returns. She's here. He's here. It's that little boy, that little girl we were. But she comes alive again in a way that is holy, truly holy. In an expansive, joyful way where you get to just be who you are, be yourself. Not some formula or format, or how would we say that? Not some idea of what holy means. No, this is the holy child that is real and alive and living and dances and plays and feels life and feels so alive, and all the senses come alive, and we see and we hear and we recognize the divine presence as everything that is. Okay, for today, I think that should do, right? Okay, all my love. Have a beautiful day. Bye.